It's a sweltering hot day and I'm standing in this bloody suit I've worn every Saturday for the last 3 months. I swear the damn thing is going to walk off on its own. I'm dying to get it off, but it's my lucky suit. I can't help but pander to my newfound superstition that wearing it makes a difference. So here we are, the suit and I, slap bang in the middle of the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, surrounded by nearly 40,000 delirious Crystal Palace supporters, each one drowning in euphoria. It's one of those rare moments when all the shared hopes, dreams and aspirations have finally come to fruition. I came to discover that moments like these are extremely scarce. During the previous 93 minutes against resounding odds, I watched the team I owned and loved get promoted to the Premier League. I had pumped my heart, soul and a king's ransom into this club, and now they reached the Mecca, the promised land of top-flight football. We had just beaten West Ham United, the overwhelming favourites in the playoff final. Prior to the game, I had heard on good authority that the Hammers had already booked their victory party and bus parade through the streets of East London. Oh dear, Mr. Pardew. As luck would have it, fate was inexplicably stacked against them. Take the hotel, for instance. We were booked into the Vale of Glamorgan, where all the previous playoff winners had stayed. The Hammers also drew the short straw in terms of dressing room. They were forced to enter the field from the south dressing room, which had yet to yield a playoff winner. Then there was Neil Shipley. I had taken the striker off the administrators at Wimbledon Football Club in recompense for failing to pay their cleaning up bills at Selhurst Park when they were our tenants. Talk about cleaning up. I had just watched Shipley bag a 6-figure goal bonus for the solitary strike that catapulted us into the big time and instantaneously cleared the entire West Ham end of the stadium. As a precautionary safety net, I had attempted to broker a unique deal with West Ham whereby the losers kept the entire gate receipts as a small consolation prize instead of sharing them. The arrogant buggers were so confident they were having none of it. Their loss. Did I really care about some minor spoils, though? People never forget where they were at key moments in history. For me, Saturday the 29th of May 2004 was one of them. I had many doubts during my tenure at CPFC, but this day was one time when I had few regrets. Here I was, if only briefly, a god amongst men in the eyes of the club supporters. I had delivered on my promise to bring Premier League football back to Selhurst Park, and I'd done so a year earlier than I predicted when, back in 2000, I rescued the club from administration and an uncertain future. The almost daily battles, bust-ups and dramas that had ensued since then receded into distant memory that day. It was a phenomenal achievement by my team. In November 2003, they had lain fourth from bottom of the division, and now, here they were, taking, in my view, their rightful place amongst the English football elite. As I was cocooned in my own little bubble, my mobile phone went into terminal meltdown as message after message from around the world went unanswered. I randomly answered one call. It was Ian Wright, the iconic England and former Palace striker, and a close friend, screaming down the phone in celebration. As I made my way around the Millennium Stadium, taking in the unprecedented outpourings of emotion, my mind flashed back to a similar occasion marked by widespread tears and relief. It was another May, 3 years earlier, and took place in rather less auspicious surroundings, but it was nonetheless equally important. Dougie Freedman scored a goal in the 87th minute at Edgeley Park, the home of Stockport County, and catapulted himself into Palace folklore. This minor miracle saved us from relegation to the third tier of English football in my first traumatic season. Dare I say it, the goal never should have stood. But it was symbolic in a way, as I was later to find out, to my considerable financial cost, there was indeed a thin line between success and failure. How things change. I remember playing Wolves at home in the third game from the end of that campaign and losing 2-0. The Palace supporters were baying for blood and demanded the head of manager Alan Smith and his assistant Ray Houghton. With 2 games remaining, I thought we were nigh on dead. I took a monumental gamble and fired Smith and Houghton to replace them with chief scout Steve Kember. We went on to destroy fellow relegation-threatened Portsmouth 4-2 at Thratton Park, and then, thanks to Freedman's minor miracle, won at Edgeley in the final game to preserve our status and escape relegation. Much had taken place in those 3 short years. The difference in circumstances was so vast as to border on the obscene. All the battles, managers, headlines, meltdowns and controversies I had encountered in those 3 years had led us to this moment. Previously, I'd been fighting to stay in the old First Division and picking up the £2 million a year in B-Sky B money. Now we had the keys to the Sky Vault to plunder. There was no official invite. We didn't even knock on the door. We simply walked in and helped ourselves to a near £50 million and landed ourselves a place amongst the elite.